Very good afternoon, friends. Myself SS Jugde, and today I am going to give the lecture on all about the slip gauges. That is details about the slip gauges. So, what are the slip gauges? First of all, we take the general introduction of slip gauges. Slip gauges were first developed by Johnson, and sometimes it is also called as a Johnson gauges or Johnson gauge blocks. These are rectangular blocks of steel having a cross section of about 32 mm into 9 mm. Slip gauges are universally accepted as a standard of length in industries. These are the simplest possible means of measuring linear dimensions very accurately. So what is the need of slip gauges? For tool room and other precision work, the ordinary methods of measurement are not always accurate. Micrometer and vernier caliper can be used to check the tolerance fine within up to a 0.002 to 0.02 mm. But for fine tolerance, they are not effective. Thus, there is a need of instrument which can measure the fine tolerance limit. The means to do so are slip gauges. They can be used to measure tolerances in the range of 0.001, that is up to 1 micron, to 0.0005 mm very accurately. So you can understand the slip gauges are nothing but a square hardened steel blocks which are manufactured for improving the accuracy or to check, or which is used as a standard in the industry. So what are the grades of accuracy of slip gauges? There are slip gauges available in the different grades. Slip gauges are made in 5 grades of accuracy. That is calibration gauge, which is used to calibrate the other instruments and uh, uh, other instruments, etc. Grade 0, double 0, grade 0, grade 1, grade 2 in the decreasing order of accuracy. So grade 0 and grade 1, grade 2 are used for general workshop purpose, are known as a working gauge blocks. Means normal in industry or any workshop, small workshop, this particular grade 0, grade 1 and grade 2 are easily available. Uh, you can see over there. So these are the working gauge blocks, whereas calibration gauge grade, what we also called as a master gauge blocks, and grade 00, these are the inspection gauge blocks, are used only for checking other types of blocks. That is, from the calibration grade you can check the inspection gauges, and from this particular inspection gauges you can calibrate grade 0, 1 and 2. So these are the general classification. So we can see one by one. Number one is calibration grade. This is a special grade and is used for experimental work, research work, and for measurement and inspection of other gauges. So grade 0, this is also termed as a inspection gauge block. This is used for highest precision work such as measuring grade 1 and 2, as I already mentioned. Grade 0, this is used for tool room or machine shop inspection. So normally in a lathe shop or in a milling shop you can observe this particular grade 0. Grade 1, this is used for more precise work such as setting up a sign bars, checking gap gauges, measurement of components, tools, etc. And finally grade 2, this is used in workshop for rough checks, for ordinary inspection, and also for setting up the machine tools, and for measurement where production tolerances are relatively wide. Next is what are the different slip gauge sets available in the market for use. Gauge blocks are available in the sets with the steps of 10, 1, 0.1, 0.01 and 0.001 mm. On small size blocks, the size is marked on the measuring face, and for large blocks, the size is marked on the side surface. So the sets are available in metric and as well as in English units. Letter E is used for inch units, that is English units, and letter M is used for units, that is metric units. The number of pieces in a set is given by the number of followed by letter E or M. For example, E81 refers to the set whose blocks are in inches unit and 81 in a number. Similarly, M45 refers to a set whose blocks are in MMs and units units and are 45 in number. That is, E denotes for this particular inches and M denotes for this particular MMs. So 81 numbers are there in this particular block, and M45 means M is the MM and 45 denotes the 45 number of slip gauges are there in this particular box. Okay. So these are the general slip gauge set used for the measurement. There are four sets, that is M45, which is also called as a normal set, M87 called as a special set, set M112 and set E28, which is in inches. So remaining this particular M45, M85, 87, sorry, M45, M87 and M112, that is 112, these are available in mm. So as I already discussed, there are different steps. Like that, I will give you example. It is having a range, steps and number of blocks 1.0012 to 1.009. So there is a difference of increasing order steps are 0.001 and there are total number of 9 blocks. In this way, we have total 45 blocks in the set 45, total 87 in the block 87, set 87. There are total 112 blocks in set M112 and there is a 28 blocks in E28. Along with this, we have a protective slips. Apart from these, about two extra gauges of 2.5 mm each are also supplied as a protective slips. The purpose of protective slip gauges are to prolong the life of slip gauges. These are often made up of same material as the rest of the sets, or sometimes they are may be made from the tungsten carbide, which is a wear resisting material. So protective slips identified by letter P marked on its one face. These are placed at each end of the assembled blocks to ensure that any wear or damage is confined to these two blocks. The use of protector blocks at each end of the slip pile will extend the accuracy and hence the useful life of the gauge block. But there is a disadvantage associated with the protective slip, that the minimum number of gauge blocks in a slip pile often increases as it obvious from the following example. Look at this. We can go for the one by one different examples. So how we can build a dimension using slip gauges. So building a size of 43.716 mm using a pair of 2.5 mm protector blocks and M45 set. So extra 2.5 mm protector block is provided in this particular block with a set of M45. So there is a rule, you can start with the last decimal place. There is a 6. So 0.006 no any gauge is available. So when we go for 1.7, minimum slip gauge is available from 1.001. So before going to the 001 mm, first we can use this particular 2.5 mm protector blocks. That is 2.5 mm two protector blocks are there. So 2.5 into 2, that is 5. So 5 mm we can neglect from this particular main dimension. We got 38.716. Starting from the last decimal place. This is a last decimal place. Look at this. This is the last decimal place. So 1.006, if you remove 1.006 because it is available in M45 set, as you know. Look at this. M45, this is M45 set, and within this 1.001 to 1.009. So within this particular range 1.006 is available. So minus 1.006, we got 37.710. Again we go for the 1.01 for the fourth block, we get 36.70. This is from the second range. Okay, then 1.7 from the fifth block. This is the fifth block, and for 35 mm we can take 5 mm and 30 mm. These are the two blocks. So total 7 blocks are required to build this particular dimension. Similarly, building the size of this particular 43.716 mm using M45 set. Look at this. 1.006, this is the first block. 1.001. The rule is that you should start from the last decimal place, and the second rule is that use minimum number of slip gauge to build the dimension. So minimum number of slip gauge makes the best possible dimension. So in this way we can subtract and take each slip gauge set from M45 and build this particular block. Similarly, a set of 110 pieces is there, and set of, sorry, it is 112 pieces and a set of 45 pieces. From these two we can build the dimension successfully. So what is the ringing process in case of slip gauge? How this particular dimension can build? This particular dimension can build using a ringing process. So in case of ringing process, first of all, two slip gauges are twisted together under a certain pressure. It will found that due to the molecular attraction of the atmospheric pressure. Look at this. This particular, first of all, take two slip gauges which is going to be combined. Then it will be clean for using simple tissue paper or like glycerin. So remove dust and dirt. It can be then one of the slip gauge is placed on the other at 90 degree. Then next is that you can twist it again in 180 degree and just move along with the side with the gentle hand pressure. You can see that this particular two slip gauges are adhered together. This is adhered together due to the molecular attraction. If two blocks are twisted together in certain pressure, it will found that due to the molecular attraction and atmospheric pressure, they will adhere to each other with quite firmly. This process is known as ringing process. The process is very useful to produce a required size by assemble several gauge blocks. Before ringing of blocks, wipe them with the clean. Wipe them clean using a cloth or leather or like cleaning tissue like Vaseline, grease, etc. or dust to remove the dust using a petroleum jelly, etc. Start ringing in the largest size first. Place two faces together. Look at this. Place two faces together at right angle to each other with the pressure twisting through a 90 degree. This action should be smooth and with the constant pressure. So in this way you can ring this particular slip gauge. This process is called as a ringing process. Then what is the accuracy of gauge blocks? The accuracy of gauge blocks is affected by temperature changes. They are accurate within the temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, that is room temperature, which is generally required for any metrology lab, and humidity controlled atmosphere. Their accuracy should be checked by time to time against any worn out deformation in the blocks. To do so, in industry, the set of gauge blocks are available as a reference set to check other working sets. So, what is the manufacturing process of slip gauge? First of all, the high grade steel blanks are taken with the appropriate size. High grade steel, first of all, taken because it is made from the high grade steel. They are subjected to harden and rough using a grinding process. Third, then they are subject to a cyclic low temperature heat treatment to provide stability of the dimensions and to relieve the internal stresses. Sorry. So, uh, first of all, you take the hardened steel gauge blocks with the appropriate size. Then they are subjected to harden and rubbed using a grinding process. Then they are subjected to a cyclic low temperature heat treatment to provide the stability of dimensions and to relieve the internal stresses. A batch of 8 blanks of similar nominal size is mounted on the 8 coplanar faces of the magnetic chuck. There is one set of faces lapped truly flat by lapping process. So by changing the lapped faces of magnetic chuck, the opposite faces also lapped truly flat. Look at this. This is the magnetic strip of which is done for the particularly lapping. So magnesium then now the required parallelism and equality of sizes are achieved by interchanging four of the 8 gauges as shown in figure, this particular figure. They are interchanged diagonally and turned end for end. Thus, any errors in parallelism are equalized. Now, after the grinding or lapping, now determine whether the gauges are the required size. They are removed from the chuck or rung together in a combination and their appropriate size compared with an appropriate size master in a suitable comparator. So what are the uses of slip gauge? There are different uses of slip gauges. They universally accepted as a standard of length. Second is that uh, they used for direct precise measurement where accuracy of workpiece being measured is high. They are also used in a high magnification comparators to establish the size of the gauge block. Slip gauges are also used for checking the accuracy of measuring instrument like vernier caliper. Slip gauges are also used to setting up the comparator to a specific dimension and they are also used to check a batch of components quickly and accurately. So while using this particular slip gauge, the care should be taken or point should be kept in the mind while taking care of the slip gauges. When it is not in use, the slip gauge should be kept in their respective position in the gauge box. Before ringing the blocks together, ensure that their faces are perfectly clean. Third is there another care should be taken that measuring faces should not be a fingered. Gauge should not be rung together over an open gauge box due to the possibility of accidentally drop of the gauge box. Due to this possibility any gauge on several gauges placed in the box and could be damaged. So gauges should not be rung together over an open gauge box. So gauge should not be rung together for a long time. Due to this, there is a chances of reduction in molecular attraction. After use, does not break the pile, but side one gauge over the other separate them from each other. After use of this particular slip gauges, a thin layer of good quality grease should be applied on their faces before they are kept in their case. As far as possible, slip gauge should be used in a air conditioning room free from dust and maintain the constant temperature. During the use, their working faces should never be placed on the surface plate. Check accuracy at appropriate intervals because there is a chances of getting error. Use minimum number of gauges for a combination. run together in a correct manner, and most important, use 2.5 mm protector slips whenever possible. So this is all about the details of slip gauges, starting from how the material, its need, its importance, its ringing, its dimension building, another its different applications, and its care. So if you have any doubt, then please comment in the comment box. Thank you.